It's always very difficult to play against Marseille because of the passionate fans they have and the quality of the players. What makes it even harder that they have such a good manager who always lets his team play so well. And we were prepared for that. I think in the first half you could see we took the ball 3 or 4 times off them in very promising situation, but we couldn't find the player that was completely free. We were in 4 versus 3 situations a few times. And the one time we did find the player, it was fractionally offside. And on the ball, I think we were controlled, although I maybe could not better use that word because that's misintercepted, has been misintercepted a few times lately. But we could find players in between the lines. We could bring our attackers in promising positions. And it took a while before we scored the second, because I think we had chances earlier on to score the second. And the thing that was for the first time different this season than in all the other games, that the moment we were having a big chance to score the 2-0 that hit the post or the bar, 10 seconds later they had a big chance, and usually this season that ball goes in and we're all complaining. But now the ball went over and we extended our lead to 2 and 3-0, and then the performance is still the same, but the perspective about how people talk about it is probably completely different.
Yeah, I suppose some of us were looking to see, or it was kind of, I suppose the build-up was looking at whether you were looking for a response to the current run that you were on. Do you feel you got a response time? Were you looking for a response time? And if so, how big a response was it?
No, I can say it one more time. Having a draw at home against Burnley is not the standard of this football club. But we've created, I think, 3 or 4 times more chances against Burnley than we did tonight. But we scored 1, and tonight we scored 3. And even tonight we created quite a lot of chances, by the way. Against Arsenal we played a very good game. Against Burnley, in my opinion, still, everyone can disagree, but we played a very good game against Burnley. And tonight, again, we played a very good game. But it's a completely different game, because in a game like this, tactical discipline, tactics, game plan, it all matters. Where if you face a low block, you don't have a meeting to tell the players how they have to bring the ball out from the back, because you already have the ball in 25 yards of the goal. And I think Pep, I've said this already 15 times this season, but I heard Pep saying the importance of players that dominate 1v1s against low block yesterday evening as well. So maybe when he says it, people put more emphasis on it.
So that's what you thought of Mo tonight, because it's obviously been a quick turnaround for him after AFCON at the weekend, to then come back, train with the lads and perform as well this evening.
It helps that he's already for so long with us, so he knows his teammates and he knows how we want to play, and it says a lot about how big of a professional he is, that being away with us for a month in a different team, that he was so fit to play today 90. I think he was close to a goal. Good ball from Cody. Usually that's a goal for him. Tonight it wasn't, but it didn't harm us because we scored 3. But I think overall was I saw a lot of good individual performances, as I saw against Arsenal, as I saw against Burnley, as I saw tonight. And the one I want to take out is Joe Gomez, because he hasn't played a lot in the last 1.5 years. Suffered sometimes for injuries. Sometimes I didn't play him when he was fit. A few times that he played were moments in League Cup and in FA Cup, and tonight he had an outstanding performance with an important role in our 3-0.
And how crucial now to avoid the playoffs? You're up to 4th in the standings, obviously.
No, but that has been crucial from the start, because in the last 13 games we've only been 54 minutes behind, and we've had multiple times a lead. And but we have to play with a lot of times with the same players because we have 3 long-term injuries, and from the start of the season we haven't had as big a squad as some of our competitors have. So it's a lot about the same players, and I don't think it's a reason, but you never know that if every time the same players have to play, or most of them the same players, then that could be maybe a reason where you run out of energy in some games where we've conceded. Because it is more than people understand. We're already 7-8 months in the season, and I don't think Virgil has had more than 3 days off. And it's the same for Ryan, and it's the same for all these players. But they constantly show up, they constantly show mentality, no matter how many setbacks we've had this season. And again, today we as a team had a very good performance.
Any more? No, thank you.
Oh, one.
Yeah.
Did Marseille play exactly the way you expected them to, or were there any surprises in that approach?
There are always a few details where they adjust during the game because they then see the way we approach the game. But I think what you know about Marseille, what you know about this manager, that they want to try to bring the ball out from the back in a certain style when they have a goal kick, and in open play they also have a certain style. But I could also see, and that's why I think he's also such a good coach, such a good manager, that he does adjust then small things to our game plan, and that was what makes these games, even for me and also for me, much more interesting than facing low blocks. Because now you have to be sharp, you have to be alert, you have to adjust in your tactics, in your game plan, where against low blocks, it has nothing to do with tactics.
Would you say it's easier to play against the team?
Depends, because if you face low blocks, you have the ball a lot, and usually if you have the ball a lot, you could assume you win the game, and that would have been normal for us if you compare the chances we create and the chances we concede. But because of multiple reasons this season, we weren't able. If you tell me it's nicer to approach a game, when you watch games of them, like Marseille or Madrid or Atletico Madrid or other games we've played in the Champions League, the teams we face do mainly the same as they do in the other games. Where in the Premier League it's 7, 8, 9 games before we play them in a certain style, and then they play us and they completely change their style. And then, yeah, you're standing in the line and just having ball possession, hoping something happens. And of course we train on certain things, and of course we try to make small details better. But the end is, as Pep yesterday said, dominating the 1v1 is crucial against low blocks.
Check on Federico.
Yeah, you can.
What happened with him? What's the injury?
2-3 minutes after you guys left yesterday, he stepped out of the training session. We took him with us because we don't expect it to be a long-term injury, so we are here because we stay here tonight, we're here a bit longer. We thought it was good for him to have his treatment over here, and we were hoping that maybe he would have been fit in time. But he wasn't. He tried in the warm-up, and he wasn't able to play. That's why he wasn't on the bench.